On January 29, 1979, Grover Cleveland Elementary School in San Diego, California, became the site of one of the first high-profile school shootings in U.S. history. A 16-year-old girl, Brenda Spencer, opened fire from her house across the street. The school's principal, Burton Ragg, and custodian, Mike Suchar, were killed, dying instantly at the scene. 8 students and a responding police officer were injured. Brenda Spencer lived just across the street. The San Diego County Medical Examiner's Office identified the deceased principal and custodian through their badges. Upon examination, they confirmed that both indeed died instantly from the bullets and did not on the ground bleeding to death. Therefore, no first responders would be held accountable for taking too long. At the time, Brenda was 5'2". She was very thin, with bright red hair. Acquaintances described her as hostile towards authority, particularly the police, and she had previously expressed desires to commit violence. She barely had friends and was always at home with her mom when she was not in school. She had a troubled home life, living with her dad in poverty, and later, reports claimed she was neglected and abused, though her parents deny such allegations. The injured victims were rushed to undergo surgery at the UC San Diego Health Center. Brenda was the youngest of 3 children. She was born on April 3, 1962, to Dorothy Nadine and Wallace Edward Spencer. After her parents' divorce in 1972, Brenda lived in a difficult home environment, sometimes sleeping on a mattress with her dad in a house strewn with empty alcohol bottles. She had shown talent in photography, winning a Humane Society competition, but was generally disinterested in school and struggled socially. Reports indicated she had an injury to one of her temporal lobes, stemming from a bicycle accident. She was referred to a facility for the problem students in 1978, where staff noted that she had suicidal tendencies. That same year, she was arrested for shooting windows at her school with a BB gun, and also for burglary. Therefore, law enforcement put her in several diversion programs. She was even pink-slipped. For Christmas, in 1978, her father gave her a Roger 10.22 caliber rifle with a telescope sight and 500 rounds of ammunition. Brenda later said, "I asked for a radio and got a rifle." On the morning of Monday, January 29th, 1979, Brenda began shooting from her home. She targeted Principal Ragg and the custodian she shot, Mike Suchar. Both were killed as they tried to protect the students. The ages of the 8 kids shot ranged from ages 7 to 12. The responding police officer, who was school resourced, was identified as 28-year-old Robert Robb. He was shot in the neck as he arrived on the scene. Other police officers managed to prevent further casualties by moving a garbage truck in front of the school to block her line of fire. These injured victims would be released in a span of weeks from the hospital. After firing 36 times, Brenda barricaded herself in the home. She spoke on the phone with a reporter from the Evening Tribune and allegedly said, I don't like Mondays. This livin's up to day. Negotiators promised her a Burger King meal, and she eventually surrendered peacefully. Brenda was taken to the Central Division Police Station in San Diego, where she confessed. She was initially held at the San Diego County Juvie Hall. The San Diego County District Attorney Gary Gibson charged her with 2 counts of murder, 9 counts of attempted murder, as well as an assault offense. At her first appearance, presided over by Judge Frank Creed, she was ordered to remain in custody without bond. Within days, that DA, serving as prosecutor, chose to move forward with her case in district court, what some call adult court, and she was transferred over to the San Diego County Jail. Her defense attorney, public defender Patrick Hull, submitted not guilty pleas to the court on her behalf. In March 1980, Brenda reached a plea agreement. She pleaded guilty to 2 counts of murder and the weapons offense. In exchange, the remaining charges were dropped. On April 4th, 1980, just after her 18th birthday, Judge Byron McMillan sentenced her to a prison term of 25 years to life, with sentences running concurrently. By accepting the plea deal, she waived her right to appeal the case. Therefore, a vacated firearms offense and 2 of those terms for the murder charges to be served at the same time. Brenda Spencer was diagnosed with epilepsy and treated for depression while in custody. She served her sentence at the California Institution for Women in Chino, where she worked repairing electric equipment. In 1993, she was first eligible for parole. She admitted to hoping that the police would shoot her and reported past alcohol and drug use, though tests when arrested were negative. In 2001, in a hearing, she claimed her father abused her, but the parole board questioned the veracity. In 2005, Deputy DA cited incidents of the self-harm as evidence she was unfit for release. In 2009, she was denied parole. Next consideration would be 10 years later. In 2022, denied again, with the next opportunity being in 2025. But in February that year, denied once more. Therefore, she is still incarcerated. Her next hearing is 2028. With that being said, she has made multiple attempts to be released, but they have all failed or resulted in undecided. Brenda Spencer is often regarded as the first modern school shooter in the U.S. Her case inspired the song I Don't Like Mondays by Boomtown Rats. Documentaries like The Killing of America and I Don't Like Mondays. TV portrayals such as Deadly Woman and Killer Kids. The shooting led to a plaque and flagpole at Cleveland Elementary to honor the victims. The school closed in 1983 and was eventually demolished in 2018. The plaque was moved to the former school site. Spencer's actions marked a turning point in American history, with authorities noting her influence on the rise of subsequent school shootings. As of 2025, there have been no additional updates regarding the investigation and legal saga of the shooting. Brenda Spencer's story is a grim reminder of the complexities behind school shootings, a mix of troubled upbringing, mental health struggles, and access to firearms. Her case continues to be referenced in discussions of school safety, criminal justice, and media coverage of young offenders. Thank you for listening to this episode of Strawberry Ink. I personally found it very interesting. Till next time, stay safe, take care, and have a good rest of your day.